Coming up on this edition of Carolina Insider, the folks living in York County are waiting to see if a new law would allow the Panthers to move across the border. Next, the streets of Columbia are getting revamped to honor women. But first, Columbia Mayor Steve Benjamin is proposing a new rider safety bill. Carolina Insider starts now. Hello, and welcome to this edition of Carolina Insider. I'm Michael Stacy. Our top story today, Columbia Mayor Steve Benjamin is proposing stricter regulations for rideshare services. According to the state newspaper, regulations would include city inspections for all ride-sharing vehicles, designated pickup points, and better lighting at the pickup locations. Benjamin also proposed that drivers should not be allowed to use child locks during rides and that anyone out on bond for domestic violence or any crime with more than a year in prison could drive for a rideshare service. Meantime, a group of bars in Five Points is pledging to make sure their guests get home safely. According to the Free Times, 8 bars have now signed Safe and Sound Pledge, including Group Therapy, Saloon, and Cover 3. Bar owners say they will have staff on the sidewalks for the first hour after closing. The staff members are available to any concerned guest who would like an escort to their Uber, Lyft, or even their own vehicle. Steve Tannehill, who owns Group Therapy, says they'll go as far as verifying the driver of the rideshare service to assure their guests' safety. The Carolina Panthers are looking to travel across state lines to find a new home for their operations center and practice facilities. And Palmetto state lawmakers are debating a multi-million-dollar tax break that could make this move possible. I went north to see how folks in York County feel about the possibilities. There's an old saying, you practice how you play. While the Carolina Panthers are happy where they play, they're not so happy about where they practice. New owner David Tepper wants to expand on the one team, two states mantra and take his show on the road, moving all operations and practice facilities into South Carolina.
It'll be huge for York County, which we really need, especially the Rock Hill area.
As a commercial real estate agent in Rock Hill, Mindy Henson says the move would be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
So the impact financially that it'll have on York County in its entirety can really help elevate Rock Hill to the next level.
Folks we talked to say they'd love to see more development along the city's Riverwalk, bringing more people down to use the trails along the Catawba River, and more businesses to the shops nearby, like Russ Hale's new kickboxing studio.
There's a lot of local businesses that would benefit from it, and I'd love to have them here in the gym.
If South Carolina lawmakers pass the proposed tax breaks, Tepper could move the practice facility and team offices into the state. While Rock Hill resident Ryan Bigger would love to see a spotlight on his city, he's also a little concerned.
And I just think that it's important to be ahead of growth as a community. So as long as it's designed and it's planned correctly, and we plan for that growth by improving the infrastructure around where this facility could potentially go, I think it could be great for our community.
One of the biggest concerns is traffic. Traffic along the already crowded Interstate 77 and in the communities nearby, like Baxter Village and Fort Mill.
The interstate is just becoming more and more bottleneck, but part of the deal would be infrastructure if they went anywhere to try to help with the flow of traffic, on and off the interstate. But until state lawmakers decide how to proceed, the Panthers will stay put in Charlotte, playing at Bank of America Stadium and practicing in a makeshift facility nearby. Down the road in Columbia, the streets are getting revamped. Here with today's Soda City scene is Angela Howell. Angela?
Thanks, Michael. WREN, a women's rights and empowerment network, has teamed up with Historic Columbia to launch an initiative, and it's putting women on the map. If you walk or drive the streets of our city, you may notice very few signs that honor women, but WREN and Historic Columbia are here to change that. They say that less than 4% of the city's historical markers and buildings mention women, who make up over 50% of the population. Historic Columbia Executive Director Robin Waits is ready for this change.
I think it's just time to begin to not only celebrate the accomplishments of women, but to do that publicly. As the capital city, I think we owe it to our community and to the state to –
– – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – The new initiative will unveil 12 new landmarks throughout the year to honor women who were influential in shaping the state's capital city. Back to you, Michael.
Thanks, Angela. This weekend's Carolina calendar is all about the woman. California Senator Kamala Harris is bringing her presidential campaign to the Palmetto State. She will visit Winthrop University tonight and South Carolina State tomorrow. Back on campus, you can catch a softball game tomorrow at 2. And once you're in Athletic Village, you can swing by the track for the USC Outdoor Open. That's it for this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here on Wednesday.